Hello collective, it's Kai. I have guests at the house, so I'm going to speak a little bit quieter, but I wanted to talk to you guys about responding differently, because it's truly the only way to actually access the different information and ways of being, so that you can actually learn what it feels like to be safe and to express yourself. And I only say this because I feel that way. And I've been going through my own run-of-the-mill ups and downs of my days, right? One of the biggest things is that I've really been recognizing pretty much like the impression of things, the experiences, how that nuances into what I do, what I'm open to, how I talk to people, like what I'm willing and open to talking about. And all of these things are so important in a sense where it's like, if I continue to respond or react to someone in the same way over and over again, right? And that in itself is just me kind of perpetuating this pain of not being myself completely. I was talking to a friend today and he was like, Kai, you have so many secrets. I was just like, honestly, I'm just learning though that it's not like secrets or being mysterious. It's literally like I'm myself, am not openly sharing. And so I was presented this opportunity to work with my friend, and it really like dawned on me that I stopped myself from experiencing things because of this fear. And it's not even fear that I'm like feeling, it's the habitual nature of thinking of something in a way that, or acting or reacting or whatever the fuck it is, just in the same way that you used to. And then at the same time, it was literally in that moment instantaneously where I was kind of like saying no to him, because I was like, I don't know if I like, I don't know. That's what it is. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how it's gonna unfold. I don't know what I'm gonna access. I don't know what I'm gonna tap into. I don't know these things. But what I realized in that moment was that I was stopping myself. And that was probably one of the biggest lessons I learned in 2024 was having control, right? And that's one of the biggest things that I've walked away from, because I felt so controlled. I felt so controlled. Was I actually being controlled? To some degree, no. And yet at the same time, I was a child that was told to do things, and I did them even though I didn't want to. And even if I said no, it wasn't accepted. So when it comes to saying yes to things and being myself and exploring these like new avenues, it's really like, it's so inspiring. It's so like expressive and creative. It's so outside of myself, and it's not something that I can truly just access alone. I've been spending a lot of time alone because I honestly felt like I had to repent. I had to reflect. I had to release, because there was so much fucking gunk. It felt like gunk was in me, around me. I was permeating and expressing and experiencing those things. And then it came in the forms of people cutting me off, right? Like that external response, it wasn't to like, okay, from my perspective at least, I don't feel like it was meant to be like, oh, there's something wrong with you, or like just like all that fucking classic ass self-deprecating ass fucking shit. And I took it and I faced it. I literally faced it. I was like, why do I not feel anything? What about this experience is teaching me how to accept myself more, or love myself more, or support myself more. Like, how can I take care of myself? Over and over again, these questions come up because honestly, I'm a pretty fucking, just like anybody else, but like truly, I can be a pretty shitty person when I'm not in a good place. Right? And so that's why having that grace, I literally have been taught that so explicitly, where I don't know what people are going through. I don't know what that truly feels like because I'm not you. But that doesn't negate the fact that I too have experiences that are deep, that have that painful feeling. And whether that's something that can allow me to connect with this person or not is in its own something that I can cultivate. I can create it. I can be myself. I can explore. I can face these like past versions and reactions and responses within myself. I can do this, is what comes forth. And I know that I was telling you guys, like, I'm gonna go to therapy. Honestly, I'm still considering it, to be completely real with you guys, just simply because of the fact that I don't have many people to talk to. There's many people that are around me and that love me, yes, but I don't feel drawn to sharing everything with them, you know? So it's a really interesting thing, because I truly, like, in that moment, because this is something where I really have to put myself in a place, like with this situation with a friend where I'm gonna work on something, like a creative project. I realized, like, I really want to put my best foot forward, and it's probably the first time in a while that I've felt like this, because of the fact that, like, I do so many different things. I fucking read tarot, I style, I fucking play around with clothes. I write poetry, I read them to random crowds of people, and I sing, and I do YouTube, and I also just fucking live my life as I also work at a rock climbing wall. And it's just a really, really interesting thing because of the fact that, like, there's still so much that I'm discovering, bruh. Like, literally, you think that this shit would fucking end, but it doesn't. It just doesn't. And it's so crazy because of the fact that, yes, our thoughts have so much fucking power. Our emotions can tell us so much about ourselves, how we truly are at our core, and yet we continuously create these things. We continuously contribute to these things. And, like, especially because the New Year's about to happen, and this is probably the first year where I really am like, okay, New Year's resolution, like, I actually want to accomplish certain things. And I've never really had that kind of aspiration, simply because of my relationship with accomplishments and, like, accomplishing things is like, I am finally really feeling like I am putting myself into this place where I really want to achieve this and do this for myself. Like, it's really just for myself. And I mean that in a way where it's like, in order to accept myself more, or relax more, or be more at peace and experience more joy, but also to share myself in this state, you know? Like, that is me putting my best foot forward, is to love myself, to be joyful, to experience these things and take care of myself, and then going forth into the world, despite also understanding that there are things within me that I still am just living through. I'm learning, I'm facing these things, and I have not yet experienced this amount of days of life to this day, you know? Like, that kind of almost naivety and grace, compassion that I'm giving myself, all of these things, just from learning, just from being, just from fucking feeling. I, like, really felt kind of like, I felt a little shy today because I was talking to my friend and I was just like, I don't know, this is a lot. this is a lot. Like, if I were to do this, like, I would literally have to show so much of myself, and yet at the same time, in pertaining this like particular project, I understand that I actually am very much learning that detached nature that I have accessed from, obviously, identifying the fact that I was codependent and like had a very strong attachment style, anxious and avoidant. Bruh, like literally, it's just so fucking crazy. I'm still learning so much and I'm grateful for so much, but it is truly to respond differently instantaneously. And I don't mean that in the ways where it's like, okay, I can just do it right away, right now. Like, I can do it anytime that I want. Yes, I can. I'm also not gonna rush. I'm not gonna rush myself. And that is the one thing that I am really understanding about myself is I do take many leaps of faith. I take many fucking leaps of faith, and sometimes I would like to actually just take it slow. That's it. That's truly it. It's not about like, oh, I should have never done that. Like, bruh. Like, literally, even though, yes, sometimes I cringe at myself from past memories of like, why the fuck did I care so much? Or like, why did I want to be in this connection with this person so much? Like, that kind of cringe. And yeah, I don't know, it's just really interesting because I've been really feeling that lately, where I'm like responding differently to situations that maybe one really trigger me, and I like am able to regulate myself and respond to the best of my abilities, or genuinely like I noticed that this would be a moment where I would get very triggered and dysregulated. Okay, like sometimes triggered, to me at least, means like I actively, my nervous system is being dysregulated, or I like understand that this is a repeat moment experience, but I'm now able and a lot more calm and peaceful to respond in a place that is centered, right? And so yeah, it's just been a really fucking interesting journey. And like, of course, I would love to go into details, but at the same time, this is all stuff just in the works, right? And nothing is permanent. Also, you never know what can happen. And so I'm just kind of like appreciating things, but like bit by bit and step by step, because of the fact that like I really, like, I just went through such a fucking emotional toll from the past experiences that I've had most recently, that really just was just a fucking toll. Like, honestly, it just took its toll, and I am picking up myself from like being sprawled on the ground, completely exhausted. And it's really good. It's really cool, and it's really nice, and I'm really grateful, because you know, like that feeling where you're just like, damn, like, am I gonna be fucking this depressed for this long? And I don't use that word lightly, but I genuinely mean, like, is this going to continue? Like, holy fuck, like, what do I even do? Is there anything that I can truly do? And it's been small little things that I just do with myself, and it's been literally the most simplest thing. Like, sometimes I just like spread out all of my pens, and I'm like, I'm gonna use different color pens in my journal entry today. Because I used to do that as a child, because I had this whole fucking like pencil box of gel fucking pens. Oh my god. So it's like those things, tapping into my inner child and like really acknowledging and honestly kind of just patting myself on the back for the amount of growth and level of maturity that I have accessed, as much as understanding how much more there is, how much more space there is to learn, because of the fact that I have learned things from the past to this moment. So those lessons have been learned, because I'm implementing those new forms of actions, those ways of being, so that I can access those fucking experiences where I feel safe, where I can be myself, where I can express, verbalize, communicate, create. Like that creation that comes from me, truly comes from just me. And I don't mean that other people aren't capable of creating probably the same exact fucking thing, right? Quote unquote thing. But in reality, it's like no one else is me. And I mean this in a way where truly it's so that I can be there for myself. So that I can really fucking be there for myself. And I know that I was sharing with you guys in my last video, like being dysregulated, and like honestly, it's a journey, and I'm willing to fucking go. I'm willing to fucking go the distance for myself, because it's so ridiculous to not be able to hug people just because of the fact that I was physically attacked and my nervous system was dysregulated and I didn't know what to do to make myself feel safe. So kind of like a little add-on to that is like, I'm going to give myself grace. I had that experience, I was telling you guys that in my past videos, where I really experienced like a soul level connection with someone, and yet it just didn't work out. And in a way where it really taught me a lot about how I interact with people that I'm attracted to, and how I'm perpetuating this pain of not being like the one who's chosen, constantly choosing someone else, and them not choosing me. So in other words, me not actually choosing myself. And so in reality, it really was like this whole fucking like whiplash where I was just like, bruh, like, oh my fucking god, I actually wasn't choosing myself. So in that experience in itself, where I had to understand, like, I'm gonna give myself grace, I'm gonna give myself time. Like when this person would like touch me, for example, physically, like I literally was so overexcited, or not even overexcited, I was so stimulated and excited that I honestly couldn't like quell that kind of energy coming forth from me. And yet at the same time, I had to understand, like, I have my own values and morals, and I've been practicing abstinence, and I was so close to breaking it because of how I was responding to this person. And like that energy is like me kind of honoring that kind of exuberant emotion, but also like being fucking so fucking for real with you guys. Like, I want to see my partner as a person, right? So I had to take a step back and be like, okay, like, where am I making this like an experience that isn't my reality? That's the kind of hindsight that I've been able to access, because I didn't really pursue this connection in the same ways that I used to. And yet it still was a learning lesson, most of it, because of the fact that that is not what I desire. I don't desire communicating with someone who doesn't want to communicate with me. So it was like a really big moment for me to be like, okay, how am I going to respond differently so that I can actually show up for myself? Like, I literally mean this on such a fucking integral level, because we're humans. We are meant to fucking connect. Like, that is literally how we've created and cultivated cultures and foods and infrastructure and systems and like community. Like, all of these things are through connections, truly. And my friend today was like literally like pretty much providing his like skill sets for me, and like being like, okay, like, Kai, like, if you want to work together, like, just know that like I'm someone that could help you with this. And I'm like, okay. Well, that's not what he said word verbatim, but like that's pretty much what he said. But it's genuinely so crazy, because like I really was like, damn, do I not like do I really not vibe with bigger groups of people? But that's a whole nother fucking discussion for another day. But truly responding differently, that has changed my whole fucking reality. And it's really fucking cool. It's so cool because it's like, of course I don't want to fucking live my life dysregulated as fuck. Like, what the fuck? So to heal and to learn and to grow and to expand my awareness as much as understand that I have made some fucking mistakes, bro. And like, sometimes I really do be making these mistakes unconsciously. And I don't mean that in a way where it's like, oh, like, you're right, I'm wrong. Like, no, it's like, okay, if I'm gonna seriously continuously choose this, like, am I at least receiving some form of joy or love or compassion or peace? Like, what the fuck? What is, like, what's the meaning? Yeah, that's the video, guys. I really want to make this a lot more casual and like safe. I feel safe to express myself, and that's why I'm talking to you guys, truly, because I really want to show you guys more of my life as much as I need to be living my life. I can't just be fucking talking to you guys about shit and not doing anything. Like, low-key, I was doing that for quite a bit of time. Well, time is truly a fucking construct, so if anything, I was just in that presence for a elongated amount of moments, and I genuinely am like, damn, oh, I feel like I can breathe these last few days. Like, I really feel like I can breathe, and I mean that in a way where it's like coming out in calmer, like, natural, I don't know how to describe it besides the fact that I really felt like I couldn't breathe. I really felt like I was like empty as well, and like truly like a fucking husk. Like nothing was happening internally, which is crazy because it's like everyone goes through seasons and we're not meant to fucking experience elevated emotions all the time. I do notice though, like, because I love experiencing my emotions, that like sometimes when I'm not feeling them, it's like I can get really used to that too, because it's like it is a breather as much as like it is also telling me a lot about my own internal world and like how I'm treating myself. So it's an interesting kind of like innuendo of things interlacing and confluxing, because truly contradictions and the dichotomy of things, I really feel like I've been seeing not only how important it is to be intent on, like, for example, like giving myself positive thoughts. I don't mean it in a way where like you start to have a negative trope and then you cut it off. I let those negative things, like thoughts, like just run its course, and I make an effort to actually not interact with them or like react or respond. But sometimes when I'm like able to really just think clearly in a way where it's like I'm not necessarily thinking, you know, I intentionalize those thoughts, these or certain thoughts within my mind so that I can actually hear myself, the me in this moment that is most aligned. And so sometimes it will come in the forms of like affirmative words, but other times it will be really just me be like, bruh, like you deserve whatever the fuck you desire, so let's like do our shit, like seriously. So sometimes it's like that. So I don't know, it's just an interesting practice that I've been starting, at least just because it's really been quite dark. I don't know if you guys have been feeling that energy too, where it's just like I've been needing to sleep. I've just been needing to fucking sleep. Period. Rest. I have not been going out, even though I keep putting myself on the guest list for shit. Like, I've not been going out. It has not been the same. It's not
the same. It's really just not the fucking same. And I'm understanding what connection truly means for me, and how it feels, and what it looks like, and what it's been looking like, and how it's looking like it's going to be moving forward is like so important for me, because I really want to treat people like kindly and compassionately, because I want to treat myself like that. Like, I want to be kind and compassionate and soft and forgiving, and I want to be relaxed and peaceful, and I want to allow myself to show those quote unquote flaws, or maybe like quote unquote broken parts of me, or things that I feel like are really intense and deep. Step by step, guys. It's just one fucking step, and I'm not gonna stress myself over this. Like, what the fuck? I'm just gonna live my life, and I just wanted to share this with you guys because I've been reflecting on the fact that, like, literally a year ago, I was bawling my fucking eyes out. And I really want to honor this life that I get to live. I really just want to honor it. And sometimes it comes in the forms of really just being at rest and really putting myself into a fucking position where I'm just like, bruh, literally sit with me. God, just sit with me. Just sit with me and be. Like, we don't need to do anything. If you don't want to cry, you don't have to cry. Please allow me to experience, though, this emotion with you. Truly let me tap in so I can just feel with you. You don't have to explain anything to me. You don't have to do anything. I don't want me to feel guilty or shameful for experiencing love. Like, God. For having faith. For remaining pure and innocent. And also just learning, being mature and practical, a bit more realistic, not gonna lie. Like, all these aspects of me unfolding and learning so much about myself, and sometimes it's so scary, of course. I just understand, though, that I sometimes have to do it afraid. Sometimes I have to do it afraid, or I will do it afraid. Sometimes I will also just let myself release that fear, even though I know it's there. Like, I knew that I was scared of vulnerability the moment my friend was like, when we're on set, I'm gonna say my shit and be like, bruh, I'm scared. Like, what? What do you mean? Then it's like, no, say your shit. I guess maybe I'll say some shit too, but like, sometimes I really don't have shit to say. So yeah, that's the kind of esque of this video, responding differently. Thank you for being here, truly. Thank you so much for being you, for being here, for allowing and providing this space for me to speak. Thank you for being alive, truly. And I say this because I've been feeling this a lot more recently, where it's like, damn, I'm so glad to be me. I'm so glad that I get to experience and learn about these things about me. I'm so grateful and glad that I can choose to actually go out into the world. Even if sometimes I might not feel like I'm quote unquote ready, like, I still can make a choice. And it's really fucking cool. It's nice to finally, like, experience that really consistently in my life, where I'm just like, wow, I get to choose. I get to choose. So, yeah. I'm sending you guys so much love and support on your own spiritual journey.